Call this June 8th Brown County Commission meeting to order. Commissioner Weiss, lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning.
Morning.
First item, to approve the agenda.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, we have the Presentation College Revenue Bonds Refinance Public Hearing.
And we're on time.
Betcha. We got somebody here for... Come on in.
Hello.
We just happen to have chairs right at the end here for you.
Go up my chair.
Front and center.
Awesome. They're with the bear.
They're with the Ferris, so.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're with the
that's
Ferris.
all right. You can
This one, not this one.
Did you kind of want to give an overview of the PC revenue bonds and the counties involved?
Yeah, I can do that. I didn't know if you wanted to wait until after the public hearing closed or not.
No, come on up.
I think you're seeing who's here to speak on it. Not a lot.
We've been here before.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say, so Presentation College is looking at refinancing their 2013 bonds that you guys were the conduit finance issuers for. So just a little overview. Obviously, you guys, I understand you just did something like this for Northern States. So the Presentation College is 501c3. They can borrow on a tax-exempt basis, but they can't issue their own bonds. So they need an issuing authority. That can be the state, that can be the city, or it can be the county. Those are different issuing authorities. Schools are issuing authority, but they can't do conduit financing. So in this case, the county or the college came to you guys in 2013 and asked that you financed or issue these bonds on their behalf. And now they're coming back to the county with this refinancing, and they're asking that you be their issuing authority again for the refinancing, or their, as in our lingo, refunding of those bonds. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. They need an issuing authority. You guys have that authority. It doesn't show, I guess one question always gets asked, well, how does this affect the county finances? It doesn't. It ends up basically as a footnote within the county's audit that you have a conduit financing through the college. If the college is unable to make payment, there is no, the documents are all drawn up, that there is no look back to the county for any funding for any payment on the bonds.
Basically, just pass-through funds is all it is. Just
Right.
passes through the county.
There's an agreement between you and the county and the borrower and the folks that own the bonds. It used to be the trustee, but it'll be different purchasers out there in the market where there won't be a trustee on this.
The funds actually don't come to the county.
Right.
We are literally, it's just a sentence in the bottom of the financial report that we allowed to be a conduit.
Yep.
They're not a
So
shell
now-
corporation, we know who they are.
Yeah.
And
So
how
as a
much work-
refinance, does that have to come back through paperwork again? When you do
There'll-
the refinance?
There will be additional paperwork. So
Okay.
this resolution that is part of this public hearing today, that you'll act on, then gives you the authority, the chairman the authority, and the auditor the authority to sign the final documents for the refinancing.
How much work goes into it from your office, Kathy?
Not much. They've been very helpful in taking care of everything from the publication to the resolution today. Just a couple emails, and then we'll sign the closing document.
Right.
Because I know originally when we did it, that was one of the gusts, there was a little more work to it and a little more footwork we had to do as an office, even though there was no monetary contribution. There was quite a bit of work when Maxine was in there that she had to do.
Well, and in some counties, I don't know, I know some cities, let's put it that way. I don't think Aberdeen had that, but I know like Sioux Falls, if you're going to do a conduit, I think they have something in their ordinance. I mean, if you guys want to adopt this later on, I think they charge a minimal fee of like $500 to cover some of their costs.
Our beef plant bond, that is completely different. That is a significant workload on the
Well, this
auditor.
was when Maxine was in the first time when we did Northern, or the
Oh.
PC one, 7 years ago? Was that when the original
Yeah.
was 7?
Yep,
Yes, I
yep,
haven't
7.
found it overly time.
It's like 8 years, I guess 8 now technically, because it was May of 13, so I guess.
So is the reason for the reissuing for, I think you mentioned the different bonding companies, is it for lower interest
It's
rates?
for lower interest rate, yeah. They're hoping to save about $160,000 a year on their payments. So
Okay.
significant savings that they can achieve by doing a refinancing.
And not that because I'm in support of this, but the other downside was, I believe this was one of the pieces that bumped us up to need a different, more the audit. Like there's different levels of audit when the
So
state
you're
team
probably
was done?
referencing the single audit, and that has to do with our federal grant revenue.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the
usually
threshold
federal
for
money
that
drives
is
that.
$750,000, so we'll be having single audits for the next couple of
Yeah.
years with all the federal grant revenue.
And you say single audits, you mean
Yes.
annual audits, or?
We do get annual audits,
Yeah.
but this is an additional federal grant audit if you
Oh.
receive so much in federal grant revenue.
Yeah. Some
I
counties do
apologize.
biennial audits too, so I mean, I was just kind of wondering, if you get so much state money or whatever schools do, then they end up having to do annual audits. And that, yeah, it does change that a little bit. It does add some cost, but it sounds like you're already in that boat
Already, yeah.
with an additional audit, just for the federal money.
And I apologize, I didn't get your name or...
I'm sorry,
introduce
and I
you.
probably didn't say Tom Grimmond, I'm not on the
Okay.
agenda. Tom Grimmond from Collier Securities, used to be Doherty and Company, and then Mike Doherty decided to retire finally, and took his name off the door and sold the company to Collier Securities.
Okay. Motion approved.
Second.
We got a motion by Weiss, second by Kipley, to approve the refinancing of the bonds for Presentation College. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. You're good to go.
There you go. All right. Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Now we have the Avera Addiction Care Center 2022 budget request. Morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Good morning. So I'm Angela Pearson, I'm the clinical coordinator, and I have with me Jordan Munga. She is taking the place of Jessie Payson, our behavioral health nurse manager. Jordan is our Communities That Care grant coordinator. And so we are both here to speak to you guys on behalf of our request, our yearly request for funding. So with that, I guess I'll open it up to your guys' questions. I did not come last year, so this is a new format for me, but I do see someone using one of our pens.
Mm-hmm.
Must still have ink in it from last year.
So what is the request this year?
The request this year is to continue with funds within the community. We continue to service those who are obviously in need of evaluations, treatment, whether it be at a intensive outpatient, a service within our own agency here at the residential level that we offer. We opened on March 1st the intensive methamphetamine program, which is a 16-week program here in our community to service the Northeast region, whether it be that we do an evaluation and offer them services connection with an agency outside of here, getting them connected with them and doing then the follow-up service with adult continuing care. We also go into the Brown County Jail to do evaluations. We work very closely with the court service officers, parole, doing everything that we can to get people into the program in a very timely manner. We have a goal of 5 days or less when a probation officer or parole officer contacts us, that we work quickly with them to get them in and get them seen and get some type of recommendations in place. Also making what we call interim services when someone contacts our office. What can we do to help them until we can get them into services after that evaluation is completed.
Where's that facility located at?
Our facility, we just moved in February, and we're in the midst of the construction on 3rd Avenue. So we moved from South Main, February 11th and 12th to 620 3rd Avenue Southeast, lower level. So we are in the lower level of the breast center on the main campus of the hospital. So to get to us, you get to go a roundabout way and not climb through the construction, but it is kind of a maze to get to us, unfortunately, right now, but they're able to get to us. We give them quite a good map to get to us, very good instructions. So,
Good.
but yeah, it is fun in the midst of the construction to get to us right now.
The benefit of the move was also that instead of there being this disjointed between outpatient services and residential services, because the patients do stay at the hospital, now being at the same campus, the patients that are part of the intensive meth treatment program or the residential 2.5 level are able to just come downstairs for groups every day and then go back upstairs for meds if they should be needing to be, if they're sick for the day, what have you, that they are just able. So there's a really, it not only was a cost saving, but it's also an ease of services for our patients. So
How many can you service or take care of at one time?
housing-wise, we can have 20 patients up there. However, we can also have people coming and going, up to 24 at a time. Just during our actual day time, we can bring in an additional. But we can also have in our evening outpatient group up to 15. We have our criminal justice program that can have up to 12 at a time per group. So she runs 2 groups at a time for actual treatment programming, and then she runs 2 aftercares. So there's quite a few groups there. We also, effective June 1st, were awarded our what we call our medically monitored program. So in and amongst all of that residential programming where they're housed with us, we have the intensive meth program, the original residential program that we had, and now we're adding the medically monitored. So they're all kind of a conglomerate together. So it's quite interesting.
Very good.
And we still have the detox portion of it as
I
well.
was wondering, I was going to ask
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So are you the offspring of what was Worthmore?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so in March of 2018, we changed our name to Avera Addiction Care Center. As they opened one in Sioux Falls, we just mainstreamed the name together, which confuses everybody. People will call me like, well, I'm looking for Worthmore. Yes, you called them.
So what's the dollar amount you're requesting?
The same as we do every year,
Okay,
$25,000.
that's,
Yep.
I'll speak to our prevention services. We have and have for many, many years have school-based prevention. We go into the schools. That is led by Thomasina Rohrbach. She coordinates all of those efforts, so goes into the middle and high schools, and then usually in the spring goes to the elementary schools as well, doing drug and alcohol screenings should that need to be done, and mostly classroom utilizing evidence-based programs such as life skills, project success. And I came into the picture this last well, it's almost been a year within this role in Communities That Care. Communities That Care is a program that comes out of the University of Washington, and they are implemented throughout the United States and have been around for over 20 years in utilizing their prevention framework and their system. And they are new to South Dakota. We are actually one of only 4 awardees within the state. Us, Pierre, Eagle Butte, and Cheyenne River were the 4 that were awarded. So our Communities That Care started last summer. We had a group of 6 individuals from across the county, and we have named ourselves Brown County Communities That Care. So Warner, Frederick, and Groton are also involved in the effort as well. We have since moved to having a key leader training that had about 27 individuals that attended virtually, being able to understand what we were trying to do and bring everyone together to understand the gaps in services for our youth in both mental health and in substance use prevention. And then just at the end of May, right towards the end, squeaking in at the end of our fiscal year, we had 20 individuals that came together and developed our community board. So we officially have a community board and a vision statement, and are working towards, we have our work groups established, and they are looking to pull together statistics and data to be able to see what is happening within our county, and then each of the schools that chooses to participate within the county we can survey 6th through 12th grade students to be able to see their attitudes, their use, and find out what those risk and protective factors are. So our goal with all of it is to be able to make sure that we elevate programs within our county that are working really, really well to help our youth, and make sure that we address the gaps in those services. As we know that mental health issues and substance use continues to be on the climb and the rise, especially since the pandemic, but we also want to see how resilient our kids are, and because we know that they are, and be able to highlight that as well. So very excited and proud of the work that we're doing within prevention.
Definitely a need for it in the
Mhm.
community.
Absolutely. We have our hands in everything, in other words. So to speak.
So do you struggle with getting enough counselors, or, I mean,
Absolutely. We are in the process of looking for one right now. We just hired somebody. We also just said goodbye to one yesterday, who got a different job in a different state. So yes, the need is there, and
maybe the county should just set up a scholarship or something for that,
it's
type
a
of-
tough field. It
Yeah.
really is.
What a starting pay and something like that.
If you, according to the board of directors for the Council for Substance Abuse, they say roughly 24 across the state as they averaged.
Per hour?
Yeah, 24,000, sorry,
Oh, wow.
per year, which is,
And that's a 4-year degree?
yeah.
Oh.
And I'm like, that's really low. I can't
Teachers
speak
are
to what,
complaining.
yeah, I can't speak to what we
Sure.
make, obviously, but they say that's what, as they average, what all the agencies are. Now, we don't partake in that. We don't give out our salaries per our policy, but that's what they're averaging for all the counselors and the other agencies that partake in that, which is one of the reasons why people really struggle with making that decision.
So where are those degrees in the state, at what universities?
USD, the
Yeah.
only one that's acceptable by the Board of Addiction Professionals.
And there are a few classes at Northern, if you're looking to if you're looking to go the track of having a licensure versus a certification. Some of those classes will count, but not very many.
No.
There's just a couple. So not only within the pay range, but then there's also the investment on everyone's part to be able to work towards a certification or a licensure and to maintain that.
You get any help
So,
from the
double
state,
whammy.
direct help from the
Gotta
state
go
of South
to a
Dakota?
million.
You have no funding.
We have a grant that we get with
Yeah.
the state, our contract, but
Mhm.
as far as hiring, that kind of thing, no. So it's, I mean, we have our state contract that we get every year, and otherwise, it's,
Yeah, it's not like it's just a, one community that's all across the whole state of South Dakota issue.
It's gotta be tough to hire somebody with a 4-year degree for $11.50 an hour. I was just looking at it, thought,
it's tough.
I
Yeah.
can see where it would be.
Yeah. If you have no experience, I mean, it's, people are pretty green, that takes a lot of training. So,
It's not just South Dakota.
no.
That's right.
It's nationwide.
Right?
Yeah,
And
and
just-
people want people want co-degrees anymore. A lot of agencies do. They want to have people with the actual, I have a degree in addiction and I have a degree in mental health, because they both go hand in hand. So it's getting tougher and tougher.
I did fail to mention as well that we were also through the Department of Health, we were just awarded last week a community school partnership grant to be able to address tobacco and vaping within our county as well.
Huge
So
concern.
that was very exciting to address some cessation and some education within, because we identified that as a need as well, not only with our adolescents, but with our adult population as well.
Well, thank you very much. Very informative. I appreciate you giving us an update and all the things that are happening. And good luck. I hope you can able to find some good quality people to.
Fingers crossed.
Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Hey, thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
You enjoy your day.
You too.
Stay
Don't
cool.
suppose you guys would like your swag that I brought.
He
was waiting.
I got a piece.
Suppose you would like a bag of swag stuff that I brought you. Would ya?
You were waiting to see how the presentation went, right?
Yeah.
How bad the questions were?
Yeah, kind of. No.
Thanks a lot.
I did bring you lots of swag stuff for you guys. I did, but
Cut it in half.
Julie Pfeiffer told me that you guys kind of like swag, so I did bring some stuff.
Julie, hi.
I will
Yeah.
do that.
Is Julie, is she working full-time?
Nope, Julie is fully retired.
That's what I wondered.
Like
So-
a pretty one.
No, it's
So
all-
then, the
these
more
are all for you
swag,
guys.
the more swag, you're not anticipating asking for a higher amount?
No, no, Julie just said you guys really like swag, so I said I would bring it. Thanks a lot, you
Thank you
guys.
very much.
All right, so here.
8:55, we're gonna talk about a department head meeting schedule. What are we looking at?
I think we should look at the calendar and
Well, we know June next week, and we're out at the, Richmond, right?
Do we have a list of those that are up for,
Reviews?
for review, or?
I think we sent that around to them a couple weeks ago. Did you get everything filled on that? Do we have 2 for every department head review? Okay.
Additional ones that need to be added.
We'll have to take another peek at that, but
So next week, we're out at Richmond. 22nd, 29th. Is there a better time as far as Kathy, as far as anything?
Totally your guys' schedule when
I
you
just
want to
was
hold
thinking
it.
there's something that fits in a time frame or something with budgets or something that...
Are you wanting to do it on a Tuesday?
Well,
I think
usually it works pretty
better
good if
if
we
we're already
can...
here.
Yeah, anytime you guys want to do it, we'll make it work, so.
Let's do the 22nd if nobody cares. I'm done, but that's okay. I
That
can be
should
gone
be...
if you're here.
Good day.
How are people coming in budgets to the departments?
We got some stragglers, but
Well,
that's okay.
Okay.
We got communications council today, so, we'll have 911 budget in, and Sheriff will have his budget in this month too, he said, so.
So June 22nd, at like 11, 11:30? Well, we do it 11, maybe we could have a lot of our stuff covered and then have pizza brought in? Is that kind of what we want to do?
Sure.
Sure.
Should we throw on the schedule the next 2 quarters too, so people can plan, and we can always change it if something comes up?
The next will be September sometime?
A
We're going to do it
fall.
quarterly? So September 21st, keep them all in the 3rd week?
Yeah. I'm fine. When do we go to convention in September?
Isn't that like the 15th, 16th, somewhere in there?
September, you know.
Usually that's...
Usually that middle of the month, I think it's that 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, that's the week normally when you have convention.
So we're doing...
21st, I think would work.
21st.
And then December would be 21st, but if we don't want to do it the week of Christmas, we could do it the 14th maybe?
Do you think those would work? Is there anything crazy in your office?
I think it'll be just fine. That is a whiteboard, isn't it?
Huh?
They're permanent now.
It'll expire at the end of the year.
Magic erasers. Okay.
Okay, that's our department head meeting
Can
schedule.
we say those dates one more time?
June the 22nd, September the 21st, and December the 14th.
And you're thinking noon, 11:30?
Should we do them at 11?
Yeah, 11, then we can start, then people, we get a lot of our stuff handled. Now, when we do it 11:30, people start eating and interrupting, so maybe if we had like that half hour before.
No meetings then, pizza?
Yeah, I think most of our commission meetings, we can usually be done by 11. If not, we just have to kind of work around it. Okay.
In conjunction with that, should we talk a little bit, you had mentioned maybe having delegates for the departments on the commission. Do you want to talk about that this week? Or?
Yeah, I guess I just thought it would be all right if department heads had sort of a commission liaison that took a special interest in their department, maybe checked in to see if they need anything, make sure their needs are being met, discuss, purchases with them, make sure multi-department projects are going smoothly and staying on track and staying on time, things like that. Seems like right now there's some confusion on, if I have a question or a problem, I don't know who to call. Do I call, which commissioner do I call? Who do I go to when I have a concern that is beyond my department? That's not an HR issue.
That's one of the few things we're struggling with when we don't have a commission assistant is the real hands-on. So a lot of them are already taken care of. So you don't have to, I don't think Doug should be in charge of all
I'm
that.
not volunteered for the whole thing here.
For instance, if it's weed and pest, you're the guy.
My hands are tied
If
behind
it's
my
planning
back.
and zoning, I'm the gal.
Yeah.
But I think there's some departments who don't have boards that still need somebody that, And so we had, did you email that list out of departments, or did I?
Yeah, I sent it to you and Doug.
Okay.
Just so that,
You had stated there were some departments that felt they were all right.
I think, well, that's just my personal opinion, but yeah, some might need more oversight than
Could
others.
you
but,
probably send something out to department heads that would request it or would like something like that? Because there's no sense if, for instance, VA doesn't want it and treasurer doesn't want it, there's no sense. You know, I guess, you know, I'm thinking there's probably departments that are struggling that probably need that, but there's probably some departments that are fine with it. So I guess it would help us know out of 26 different departments, is there only 14 that need?
I think it'd be better to assign it, and then if they need it, they
And
utilize
just
it.
don't use it.
Yeah.
Is that something we should do at our meeting on the 22nd?
I think that would be all right to have it presented then. We just are missing that leadership gap with the commission assistant being absent.
So we could put that on our agenda for the 22nd, we can discuss it then, and let input from the department heads and see where they go and what their ideas are. I think it's nice to get their input, what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So we'll put that on the agenda for the 22nd.
I've just noticed when there's like a problem at the courthouse, there's a gap on who do I go to and where do I get a solution for my problem.
And it falls to you usually.
Well,
Because
not
prior
always,
to commission
but-
assistant, Maxino has picked up that stuff. So then we went to commission assistant, now we've got a new,
I mean, I'm happy to help if I
Hello.
can solve the problem,
Yeah.
but some of them are more, and they're not an issue the auditor should resolve.
And the problem with a commission assistant, we struggle sometimes having enough for them to do, really. You know, it's just kind
Well,
of,
there's plenty to
kind of
do.
caught,
well, some
caught
of that
in the
stuff
middle.
is stuff we should be doing.
Right.
Because we're getting paid to do that stuff, so
Yeah,
stuff
you gotta be
we
careful
need
about
to-
making policy decisions and things like that, too.
I like it.
Decisions.
Okay.
Good
we'll do
idea,
that on
Kathy.
the- We'll do it on the agenda the 22nd, then we'll discuss with department heads and see what they kick out. And that takes care of our agenda items. Kathy, you want to go through, or go through your stuff, Kathy?
Yeah, we can approve the general meeting minutes of June 1st.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Pikert, second by Kipley, to approve the general meeting minutes of June 1st. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Claims and payroll.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Pikert, to approve the claims and payroll. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
HR report.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to approve the HR report. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Fair contract.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Pikert, second by Weiss, to approve the fair contracts. All in favor?
I did have one comment on that, and I talked to Dave about it a little bit. If you'll notice on some of them, it just says the $150 deposit, for instance, if you're doing the lodge.
This is the contract just for the Brown County Fair. I believe it's a
Think
fire
we're on
permit.
leases, aren't we?
We're on leases.
No, we're on fair contracts right now.
Oh, okay, I got
We're
you.
about to be leases. That's all
The
right.
leases are what, the 150, is that what?
Yeah,
Okay, so fair contract.
sorry, my bad.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Leases.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Piker. Discussion?
Oh, I was just gonna say, I mentioned it to Dave, on some of them, it's not clear whether the 150, for instance, for the lodge is just the one day, but then there's 5 days if they're renting it, and I just think it's important that, I mean, we're already giving a pretty good deal, is that we'd be charging for those days that they're in there. I don't know if you guys noticed that on there, nowhere does it say what the total is, but he's gonna touch base with Kurt and make sure that that's more black and white on those forms.
Per day rather per meeting or per
Right.
event.
And I can understand sometimes, like the clubhouse, if you need to get in there at 7 at night to set up for a wedding the next day, maybe you don't charge them for the whole day prior to, I get that. But if you're there for 5 full days, I mean, we need to be, it's still already dirt cheap,
Could be
right?
5 or 6 days there, you know.
So anyway, just a note.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Claim assignments.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Piker, second by Weiss, to approve the claim assignments. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. JDC corporate agreement with Aberdeen School District.
Move.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to approve the agreement with the Aberdeen School District. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Auditor's report of accounts.
Move it.
Second.
Moved by Kipley, second by Weiss, to approve the auditor's report of accounts. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We have a bond resolution.
Oh, that was actually covered under the revenue bonds, we can cross that out there.
Now, my question, I guess, is, he gave the update, but do we have to have a motion to pass the resolution?
That motion you guys made was to pass the resolution, to proceed with the, kind of
Okay.
refinancing.
That should take care of those items. Anything else, Kathy?
That's everything we have.
Anything else from the general public?
Dumpster site, we should have the language done this week. Dwayne and Dennis met with the seller last week. Dennis called me Friday, so I revised the agreement, and I'm just waiting for their approval on the language of it before we go forward, so we don't get into the same situation we were in before, where there was some disagreement that I guess nobody really knew about.
So we are getting close.
We're extremely close. Dennis made it sound like, as long as they approve the way I worded it, we're good.
Okay, good.
And is that with the fence and not all the trees?
Yeah, I think that was worked out. The question was on a gate on the southwest corner of the easement or the road that goes in. Bob wants a gate there. And, so that Mike Scott is perfectly okay with that because he doesn't want people thinking that that's wide open to run back there and dump leaves or grass or
Behind it.
clippings or whatever. And then the other thing was maintenance of the easement road itself. And basically what Bob is perfectly happy with the county. In other words, if at some point in time there is a fence put along the south side, and say that there is there would be another approach put further down, that the county then would be using a portion of that easement, and just a matter of maintenance on that portion. And as far as the snow removal, whoever gets there first. I mean, if Bob's hauling snow in there, he's going to move the snow. If we have to get in to get the garbage out, then I think Ross has got it worded very well.
I don't imagine that they're gonna drive by with the blade and say, oh, Bob will get it.
Yeah.
I think if they're there, they're gonna move it, so.
People will be hauling stuff in and out anyway, so.
Yeah.
We have an understanding of what gate means. It's more than 3 strands of barbed wire,
Well,
but it's less than an
teased-
electric
I
gate with
teased
a
Bob
remote.
about that. I said, you want a gate? And he said, well, have a farm gate put in there. I said, you mean a 5-wire or 3-wire barbed wire fence?
Exactly.
That's exactly what I asked him. He said, no. He said, just go to Runnings and get a couple of pipe gates and 2 posts and put it up, so.
Yeah. 3 strands of barbed wire and 2 wood posts and you're good.
A little plastic handle and electric wire. But no, I think,
Okay.
I don't think that's unreasonable. The county has no reason to get back in there, and then no need to invite
Yeah.
people to run back and forth in there. And
No, that's good.
so I think
Thanks for
we're
having that
where
conversation.
we need to be.
Yeah, and they might have some minor changes, but I think I think we're there. I just
And I'm
want
sure
them-
I'll get a call from Bob again today.
Tell him
Every
hi.
Tuesday.
Tell him hi.
But
Okay.
he did say that he's got quite a bit of the stuff moved out.
Yeah,
I
I've heard
see
you
that.
move
Yeah.
stuff.
So,
Anything else come before the commission?
Contract. Except for contract.
Exec for contract.
Before we go into that one, did anybody else get any calls this week about burn ban questions?
Well, I think the question's gonna come up if it stays this dry, what's gonna happen with the fireworks? Because a lot of people have ordered their full shipment in, and I'm a little concerned if it stays dry for another 3 weeks.
I had a couple people call and say it's way worse right now in their minds than the spring when we actually had the burn ban on. So I just,
there are areas definitely that are as bad or worse. No question.
Maybe I'll call, should we call Scott Mites right now and just ask what his thoughts, and see if he wants to talk to the fire departments and address it next Tuesday?
well, I just told these people it wasn't on the agenda, so we can't address it.
But we can
talk
put it
about-
on for next week, if we
Exactly.
discuss it,
Well, we
Scott.
can talk to them after, I think.
Okay.
No, we can't change it now.
But it is scary. Better get your water tank on your truck and your pump. Get ready. Get your disc hooked up.
I'll call 900 and
Okay, I guess we'll go in, I need a motion for exec for contracts.
And then I sent out an email Ernest and Dave want to do an exec at 10 for consulting with legal counsel and proposed litigation.
Yep. So 10 o'clock we have to,
Yeah, so we'll just recess after
okay.
we're done with Erica.
Okay, move.
Second.
Moved by Weiss, second by Kipling to go into contract for exec. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are in exec.
Be on the front end.
Okay, we are out of exec, no action
Have a
as a
great week,
result.
guys. Take care.
We will recess until 10. We have another exec for legal, and they're being detained until 10, so we'll have to recess.
Yep, we'll recess and then reconvene at 10, and then after that exec, we can adjourn.
Sounds great.
We are out of exec and no action as a result.
Motion
Anything
to-
else to come before the commission?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Kipling, second by Weiss to adjourn. All in favor?